This is Yusuf at JohnTheHutDweller. One thing that I find strange, very strange, and you hear it on shows on the History Channel, you hear it from educated people, uh, Bart Ehrman of all people, is that we are now finding out that there were multiple Christianities, multiple schools of Christian, uh, which even if you did know about the church fathers, you had no understanding of church history, the battles between Marcionites, Arians, Gnostics, Catholics. Even if you just opened up the New Testament and read it, uh, a lot of the epistles are devoted to that. Don't listen to that person. This school of teaching is wrong. These people are wrong. Uh, this is right. You see the multiple Christianities, or the beginnings of them, in the New Testament, which is why they place a lot of the writings later, because they're like, wait a minute, they're addressing this point, which comes to like, it's ridiculous. Or we are now. Who is we? And any Catholic or Orthodox person can tell you there were I mean, that's why the councils were called, because there were so many different disagreements. That's why people actually wrote the stuff that they did, not because, I mean, if the Christians all believed the same thing, why would you even write anything down? I mean, unless it's just to contain, make sure it's passed down correctly. But then even that, you wouldn't, nobody would care. I mean, most of the early writing is uh, either against people or for people. It's polemic. I mean, in the Book of Revelations, it even names the different sects and mentions cities that are in heresy, or those that are doing right, which ones you should follow. I don't know. It's very odd that people say, "Well, we're now finding out." Uh, Maybe if you've never read the New Testament, you're watching a program, you're then finding out. But I don't know. It just strikes me as very odd that people would say things like this. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious that there were different factions at the beginning, and then grew uh, multitude. Uh, the highest point of the factions was, I don't know, maybe 200 AD, 300 AD, probably 250, probably somewhere in between 200 to 250. When you actually had like the Gnostics, Marcionites, Sabellianists, all these different groups. Uh, but even before the Council of Nicaea, you had kind of a winnowing down, because you already had the Catholic Church. People think the Catholic Church was established at 325. Kind of odd. You hear skeptics say this. Um, Another strange thing is, this is kind of a strange reaction, and when I had a more skeptical viewer, when I was arguing against Christianity, um, I would often talk to people, and just admitting that Jesus existed or he's a person in history, about the earth. Well, wait, no, he didn't. There's some people who think that if you can prove Paul wrote one letter, then somehow, I mean, it does seem, there's this very strange reaction, like, okay, the seven undisputed letters. Whoa, 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 back up. What do you mean? Paul actually wrote those? I mean, there's almost a yearning or something like that. and it comes out in a dialogue between Bart Ehrman and a radio talk show host, where he says, "Well, uh, the guy says, well, weren't there multiple Jesus Christs?" And it's like, wait a minute, like as if that's he's like, because Christ was just the title, so there were multiple Jesus Christ. It's like, wait, no, no, no. Jesus was just the name. He got known by that afterwards. Jesus the Christ. People say, well, sometimes they think that's his last name. But who thinks that's his last name? I think that's funny. People always bring that up. Oh, well, people sometimes think that Christ was his last name. Never run into anybody that thought that was his name. And just reading the text, you can tell Christ is the label. You are the Christ, the Messiah, the Anointed One. But I don't know, just some strange things that I've noticed in previous videos. Because Bart Ehrman, that guy, well, pretty smart guy, and he says that it's like kind of odd, and because I've noticed it before too. And you hear Marvin Myers talk or any of these programs that are on. Oh, we now know that there were multiple branches of Christianity at the beginning. Again, I ask, who is we? I don't know. Is there a group of people who only read the Gospel of Mark? Because you could believe that if you only read Mark, then you would say, well, there were multiple branches of Judaism, Sadducees, Pharisees, Zealots that are mentioned. Naturally, I mean, but then again, you'd have to infer. You'd be right. All right, peace to you. Gotta go to work.